Good evening and welcome to the Governing Council meeting. I call this meeting to order at 5:36 p.m. Let's do a roll call to see who's here. This is Brian and I'm present.
This is Rainey. I'm present.
This is Hay, and I'm present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Agenda item 3, Governing Council Administrative Discussion and Action Items. 3.1, a recommendation to approve the agenda for the June 15th, 2026 regular meeting.
I didn't see anything that popped out at me. So this is Rainey. I'll make a recommendation to approve the agenda for June 15th, 2026 regular meeting.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey. I approve.
And this is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 3.2, a recommendation to approve the minutes from the May 22nd, 2026 regular meeting.
I didn't see anything there either. So this is Rainey. I make a recommendation to approve the minutes from the May 22nd, 2026 regular meeting.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey. I approve.
And this is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 3.3, a recommendation to approve Kevin Estes to the Governing Council for a 3-year term of service beginning July 1st, 2026. I met Kevin about a month ago, 6 weeks ago. He is a research assistant professor at UNM, and he studies, broadly speaking, the economics of education. He had an opportunity to visit the school a week ago today, last Monday, and I was there as well. Lori graciously gave us a tour of the school and was able to give Kevin more information about the school, GC service, and was able to answer questions that he had. I think he would be an outstanding addition to the Governing Council for Mountain Mahogany. And you'll notice on the agenda, we would have his term of service beginning July 1st, which is why I did not ask him to be present this evening. But then moving forward, he would join us obviously for meetings. Lori, was there anything that you would like to add?
He just impressed me as a really thoughtful individual with a real sincere desire to be helpful to a school. I think that reminded him a little bit of the school he went to growing up. So he's got education experience in his family, someone in his family who's served on the school board before. I think he'd be a great fit.
Rainey and Hay, do you have any questions for Lori and me about Dr. Estes?
No.
He was on the governing council here before.
No, he's a assistant professor at UNM. He grew up in a small town in New Mexico. He grew up in Melrose, and he has a family who served on a school board, I believe, as a superintendent as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Yeah, no, I'm just really excited that somebody else wants to join.
Yes. If there are no questions or comments, I'm happy to take a motion and a second.
Says Rainey, I make a recommendation to approve Kevin Estes to the Governing Council for a 3-year term of service beginning July 1st, 2026.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
And this is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Thank you. Item 3.4, recognition of Rainey for his governing council service. So we did accept Rainey's end of service at the last GC meeting to end on June 30th. So tonight is Rainey's final GC meeting. He's been on the governing council for 2 years, so 2 school years. And Rainey, I just want to thank you so much for your service and your commitment and your positive attitude and just being someone that we could count on here on the governing council. So thank you. I mean, it's anybody who does this kind of work, it's taking a step forward, and you really did a great job of serving the Mountain Mahogany community. So thank you.
Thank you. And it saddens me to leave. Of all the councils I've been on, this has been the most rewarding. So it was not a choice I wanted to make, but I appreciate that.
Lori, did you want to add anything?
I just feel really lucky to have gotten to know you beyond your role as a parent, Rainey, and to see how um, thoughtful and generous and collaborative you were in your work on the council. And I really am grateful we had this opportunity to work together. Thank you for helping Mountain Mahogany exist. You know, without a governing council, we don't get to have a school. So I'm not sure uh, people realize how critical the role is, and it just hits differently. So I'm really, really appreciative.
Thank you.
All right. Item 4, public comment. I do not believe we have anybody online this evening to provide public comment. Item 5, stakeholder reports and action items. 5.1, director's report. Lori.
Thank you, Brian. So May is a very busy month in the life of schools. And so I believe the last time we met, we were still expecting our kinder bridging ceremony, our fifth grade celebration, our eighth grade graduation, our field day, our last day of school, as well as the professional development we hold at the end of the school year. So a lot has happened since our last meeting. Um, all of those events went very well. Graduation, especially, I was really impressed with this year. We had a number of kids who've been at the school since they were kindergartners or first graders, as well as kids who joined at the beginning of middle school and even kids who joined at the beginning of eighth grade. But they really impressed in their uh, depth of feeling for the school, the way that they cared for each other as a community. I just thought it was a really great example of like what we're trying to create at Mountain Mahogany, which is a community where kids and families and teachers have bonds that are just a little bit deeper than normal. Um, so that was really, really special. We had a super fun field day. We had a great last day of school. Currently, we have two programs going on at the school. There's a summer literacy program that's a state-funded program that's focusing on reading. So it's small groups of kids working, you know, really closely with teachers who are trained specifically in a structured literacy model through the state. We also are having a summer camp program with the Rio Grande Educational Collaborative. So if you are at the school, like Brian and Kevin were, you will see that, you know, kids and school life just goes on and on in the summer. It doesn't ever really stop. We also had a beautiful trek experience. So on, I believe it was the third, students left for the Jemez. They did a 4 night, 5 day backpacking trip. The leaders were Saba and Josh, who are two of our middle school teachers. And then we had Katie and Chris on the trip as well. Solara was on the trip. That's High's daughter. And I met them up at the Jemez Falls campground on Saturday night. We had some other families who came up too. Again, I just thought this was a really great example of what Mountain Mahogany strives to be. The students did a campfire. They shared their words for how the trek had gone. They had a lot of reflections about how it was challenging, how they'd grown. There was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of ease. I really love seeing students do things independently, right? That really stretch their comfort zone. Of course, they got back on Sunday. They were tired. They hadn't showered. They'd been carrying everything they owned and everything they were going to eat on their backs for the past, you know, 5 days. But I think they had a really good experience. We've done this trek for a number of years. in conjunction with Cottonwood Gulch. They weren't able to support the school in doing it this year, so we actually like self-supported the trip, and that turned out well. We have all of the equipment now, sleeping bags, tarps, sleeping pads, cookware, so it's going to give us some flexibility for future trips. Um, as far as wrapping up the school year, everything went smoothly. It's always a busy time. Elizabeth will testify to that in the business office. We're trying to end the fiscal year June 30th. We had two professional development days funded through the Innovative Staffing Grant, where we spent some time sitting together looking at what our schedule and will look like next year, what our staffing will look like. We have Molly stepping into a role as a middle school leader and Leora stepping into a role as an elementary school leader. That's through the Innovative Staffing Grant. And so I'm really excited about that as well for next year. Um, and we're hiring. We have a vacancy for a middle school ELA. We held one interview, which went really well. We did have a couple other candidates that we want to meet with before we make a final determination. And we've hired Victoria Lemus, who is currently working at the Explora Child Care Center as a first grade EA for next year, and she will be working with Miss Jenny.
Lori, given the success with the backpacking trip, you mentioned flexibility. Do you anticipate going back to Cottonwood Gulch next year?
It's a really hard time of year for Cottonwood Gulch to support our trip because they're getting ready for all the treks that they do and their base camp, which is out in through New Mexico. So I don't necessarily anticipate going back to them next year. But Saba already was like, "Hey, what do you think about like an overnight backpacking in the fall?" And so there's some other options, like once we have the gear to head out into the wilderness. So we'll see. I said, say but no promises. Let's get this school year wrapped up and we'll talk about the fall.
And Lori, you mentioned all of the end of year events. I had a chance to attend the eighth grade promotion, and it was super sweet. It was incredibly well attended. I, I brag about Mount Mahogany all the time. And when I am at the school at an event in the grassy circle, that's what the school is all about. And you could really feel it that evening. It was just another wonderful night at the school. And I'm just very appreciative of the invitation and just any opportunity I can spend at the school.
Thank you so much for making the time to come. Yeah, thank you.
And then personally, I did not anticipate this. I ran into two former students of mine at James Monroe, so that was also very nice and rewarding. And they just graduated from high school, so it's very exciting. All right, Lori, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have a teacher report from Miss Kana?
We do not.
Okay. And I assume no family council and student council report?
That is also correct.
Okay, moving on to item 6, Finance Committee. Item 6.1, summary from the previous Finance Committee meeting on June 11th, 2026. Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hi.
Is that in the system?
Yes, it's in the system. Sorry, we're still working on.
I got
But
it.
I'm going to switch, and she's going to finish. So, and can I share?
Oh, yes. Give me 1 minute. Okay.
All right. It says I can now.
Great.
Okay. I think is that the one? No, I want to start here. Okay, now. There we go. Okay. So I am going to start with where we are with our RFRs. And we've been busy because we had deadlines to meet. So,
To be fair, Elizabeth, you're always busy.
yep. sometimes it seems busier than others, and right now yeah, keeps us never bored. I'm never bored. Oh, and update, Mary just submitted the final for 24106 after I had already uploaded this. So 24106 is done and fully billed to 100%. So the idea be the pre-K one, about a month ago, APS realized that they had given out more money than they actually had. So we got a notification.
PED that took it back.
Okay,
Fair.
PED, take it back. Oh, okay. I keep blaming APS. It's PED. Took it back.
So did Ian.
So it's not APS's fault, but it goes through them, so they're the ones sending us the notification that we had less money than expected, which for 24106 was not a problem because we hadn't fully expended it yet. For 24109, we'd already done our final billing. We're still waiting for somebody to do a dependent bar for us so that we can make an adjustment, and we'll probably have to cut APS a check for what we went over. And you can see that we spent $1,019 and the final budget was actually $589. So, yep. This, the Title II, we should be able to do the final RFR soon. I was waiting for our LEAP employee to finish the program so I could pay that, and she just finished. So I'll be paying that tomorrow. And then I started putting notes in to remind myself when this stuff is due. So that's why those deadlines are in there, so we don't miss any of them. The library grant for $5.65 has been spent and submitted and approved. So very excited about that. They wouldn't let us spend the new library grant until we had expended the old one. I tried to spend it down last year, but there were some missing books from the vendor that I got them from, and we tried to get the $5.65 back, but they wouldn't take it. So here we are. Out of school learning, we just submitted the final RFR for that. The math, I'm sorry, it's going faster than I wanted to. The math lab, we should be able to submit soon on that one as well as the community school grant. And then this one, I need to wait for David to cash his check, and then we can submit for the final quarter of the PSEOC, and we have submitted all of our lunch claims for the year. So are there any questions on where we are with our RFRs?
Are we going to be able to spend the rest of 24190 before the end of the fiscal year?
Yes.
Mary says yes.
Okay.
So yay. All right. On to
Oh,
the financial.
I apologize. One more question.
No worries.
Was the first page for IDEA pre-K? Will you need a bar for that payment to go back?
We'll need a bar to reduce the budget.
We've already done it. We're waiting.
But we're waiting for it is a dependent bar in PED.
Correct.
Yeah.
We've already done the bar.
Yeah. You guys already did it.
Okay.
But we can't actually submit it to OBMS because it's a dependent fund, so it has to go through APS. They have to do theirs for all of APS, and then our piece comes to us. I'm learning things.
So you want
I tried to do it.
you won't need you won't need anything else from us regarding that?
No, you guys
Okay.
actually already did your part. Your
Okay.
part was done, I think, last month. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What do how do I get this up here? This is ready to print.
Okay. So then just turn it to a PDF and then you can send it to me. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Mary finished the bar, so very exciting.
Great.
Statement of financial position. So we have $934,140 in operational and $1,830,039 in total in cash. And it looks like a lot of money, but we do have summer payroll, so we're in a good place, but we have summer payroll. So and you can see the negative numbers you're seeing here are for funds that we have submitted our RFRs for, and a lot of this, because we're looking at April, a lot of this has already come through. PED's really been working hard, and APS, to reimburse us as quickly as possible, which is appreciated. Any questions on the statement of financial position?
Did we lose them?
No, I think Brian's actually looking at it. Either that or I lost him. You're still there, right,
Oh,
Brian?
I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. No, no
Did you have any
questions.
questions? Okay.
Nope. Thanks for checking.
You're quiet. So yeah, well, that's what I thought I could see your eyes moving. So, but Mary thought I'd lost you. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think he's actually looking at it. Okay, statement of revenue, expenses, and changes in fund balance, which basically shows you where our revenue's coming from and how we're spending the money. And there's no red flags here. But if you have questions, let me know.
I sent it.
Thank you, Mary. Okay. Next up is cash disbursements. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Is that big enough or do you need it bigger?
It's good for me. I also
Okay.
have it up on my end too.
Okay, great. So this was fun. When I went to do the bank reconciliation, it was off by a penny, and it took me forever, but I found it.
Mm.
So we had to do a journal entry for that penny. So that's what that is right there. I don't think there is anything. See, there's that's the second half of the Bosque buses. So the Herrera school bus there. Track fees for the spring track. Anything else exciting? Let me know if you have any questions. These guys are
I
always fun, the Hawks Loft.
I have no questions.
Okay. Next is the budget to actual. And we only had negative functions in the Medicaid fund, which is here somewhere. 25. Am I there yet? There we go. Which you guys have already approved a bar to fix. So in the May financials, it got approved by PED May 1st. So in the May financials, you'll see that go away. Any questions on the April financial statement?
No questions.
Well, then we respectfully request that you approve the financials and actually, you guys probably can say it better than me.
Mm.
Financial
Item
statements.
6.3.
This is Rainey, and I'll make a recommendation to approve the financial statements and cash disbursements for the month ending 4/30/2026.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
This is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 6.4, a recommendation to approve bar FY 26-33, 11,000.
Let me check.
Okay.
No, I just sent it to you.
So up next is bar 33, and
I don't understand why I have you echoing
I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself in Mary's machine. We did make enough through the food service to cover part of, but not all of the cafeteria workers. So this bar is basically to move some money into a fund to pay. This is about 50% of her salary and benefits. So we were able to cover half of it. So we were waiting till the end of the year to see where we ended up. So this is to move money to cover the part that the food service program couldn't cover. But that's new for us to be able to cover any of it, so it's a win. Any questions on this bar?
None for me.
This is Rainey. I'll make a recommendation to approve bar FY 26-33, 11,000.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
This is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 6.5, a recommendation to approve bar FY 26-34, 26,195.
So this bar is to basically budget all the remaining income we had in the Mountain Mahogany Fund. So this is showing that we raised an additional $231.40 over what was budgeted for revenue. So this is a revenue report, so positive is negative. And we're putting it into, I had done some fees out of here, and so I'm just putting some money into that code to cover. It was really the only negative code we had, so. Any questions on this one?
No questions.
Okay. This is Rainey. I'll make a recommendation to approve bar FY 26-34, 26,195.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey. I approve.
This is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 6.6, a recommendation to approve bar FY 26-35, 26,107.
Yeah, no, I haven't. It's sorry, I haven't uploaded this just because it's too much for me to present and upload this.
So
Would-
we have a maintenance bar for the innovative staffing. Basically, we have requested the REC to see if we can spend. They gave us a whole bunch of money at the end also, and so we've been trying to spend it, and had not gotten completely spent out, and so we have a request to them to say, can we go ahead and spend this beyond your date, because we had to have all our this RFR submitted by last Friday. We have not heard from them, so this is kind of it's a bar that we've got some extra money in the 1,000 accounts that we've moved to additional
Not the one you sent me.
additional I'm sorry, what?
This is not the one you sent me.
It is.
No, because it's all coming out of business support, and the money's not there. My apologies, this is not the right one. This is the one I did first.
There you go.
That looks better. Yes, this is better.
So it's basically using up our 1,000 for additional furniture if we can get it in delivered in time, and also in our 2,000s to purchase 2 additional Apple
MacBook Airs.
MacBooks for the staff who've been doing a lot of work on this on the grant. We don't know if we'll be able to spend this money, but we wanted it out there in case we were given permission.
If that doesn't come and we approve the bar, does the bar just become unnecessary and no further actions needed?
Yeah.
We can do one of two things. We can go ahead and do enter the maintenance bar. These are maintenance bars. They do not need PED approval.
Okay.
So we can post the bar and then just have the unexpended amount in one account or 2 accounts, or we can just come back to you and say we're voiding this bar because we didn't need it.
And if we do the latter, it's okay to do that in the next fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I have no further questions.
This Rainey. I make a motion to approve bar FY 26-35, 26,107.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey. I approve.
This is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 6.7, a recommendation to increase purchase order and give director permission to sign contracts with ABCWA for up to $18,000.
So you guys had given us authorization to spend up to $16,000, but we ended up needing to increase our garbage service. So I just got the last bill and it's over. So that's why I'm asking to increase it to $18,000 so I can pay the last bill.
And then, it's funny, I was looking at the next agenda item as well for the next fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why for next fiscal year, the budgeted amount is higher?
Yeah.
Just in case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So We're ready for a motion for item 6.7.
This is Rainey. I make a motion to increase the purchase order and give director permission to sign contracts with ABCWUA for up to $18,000.
This is Hay and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey. I approve.
This is Hay and I approve.
The motion passes. Elizabeth, before we move on, for at least for me moving forward with these increases, it clearly says increase on the agenda. It would be helpful if it had like the before amount and what we're increasing it to. Would that
Okay.
be possible moving forward?
Yeah.
Because you said it was at 16,000 before.
Yep.
So if in the future, if it could say from 16,000 to 18,000, that would just be uh, very helpful for me.
Okay.
Okay. Item 6.8, recommendation to approve purchases over $15,000 for the start of the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
And so basically we're bringing these now because we don't meet in July and our fiscal year starts July 1. So we need to have these approved now so that we can start the fiscal year strong. Know that for all of these, we looked at how much we'd spent this year to date and added a nice 10% cushion just to try to avoid what happened with the water bill so that we don't have to come back to you. So some of these numbers are probably higher than they need to be, but we wanted to make sure they're high enough that we didn't have to come back. Some of them we do actually know what they're going to be. So the NIMSIA liability, we already have an invoice. We know how much that's going to be. The APTA fund, we already have an invoice. But for the rest of them, we're basing our estimates on what we spent this year.
My question here is for the janitorial services, that amount of $60,000, isn't that the threshold to go out to bid?
If it's 60,001,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
And gross receipts is not included in
And that does not include tax for the need to go out for bid. So
Okay,
it's
yes.
60,000 before tax.
Got it. I have no further questions.
This is Rainey. I make a motion to approve purchases over $15,000 for the start of the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
This is Hay and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey. I approve.
This is Hay and I approve.
And the motion passes. Item 6.9, next Finance Committee meeting to be determined. Elizabeth, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 7, Policy Committee. 7.1, no summary from previous Policy Committee meeting. 7.2, next Policy Committee meeting to be determined. Item 8, Academic Excellence Committee. 8.1, summary from previous Academic Excellence Committee meeting on May 6, 2026. We actually did this at our May GC meeting. We are meeting tomorrow. And on our agenda, we'll be looking at EOI assessment results. We'll be looking at soapbox speech results related to mission-specific goals. And we'll be looking at hopefully results of student and family surveys as well. We have an ambitious hour planned for the Academic Excellence Committee. Item 8.2, an update from the Innovative Staffing Grant visit to Carlsbad. Lori, do you want to start and then I'll jump in?
Sure. So just to recap, the state funds projects that they're looking to see if they want to see it spread across the state from a certain fund that they have, called it's PERF, PERF. And so they're funding something they called the Innovative Staffing Project. They're working with Opportunity Culture, which is a national vendor. And Carlsbad started this process, I'd say maybe 2.5 school years ago. And so working with Opportunity Culture, and it's really an effort to identify teacher leaders within schools and to give them opportunities to work with a team of other teachers. That's why it's called a multi-classroom leader, to do instructional coaching, to have shared responsibility for student results, to build a culture within the school of, I think, shared accountability. So Mountain Mahogany is one of a group of schools that was accepted into this project. That's part of the grant funding we received. And we're also going to be receiving technical assistance and support consulting from Opportunity Culture. They hosted a site visit to Carlsbad. Brian was able to come with me. We got to visit two elementary schools and a middle school who are using this model. And I think for me, from my perspective, it was really helpful to see it happening on the ground, what it really looks like in a school day to day. It can look like a teacher popping in to observe another teacher. It can look like a team meeting that a teacher is leading. It can look like co-teaching a lesson together. The schools that we visited, seemed very well run schools. And so it gave me a lot of excitement about moving forward with this project at Mountain Mahogany. Brian, how would you like to chip in?
I was very thankful that I had an opportunity to go. Carlsbad did a wonderful job organizing the day. We started off with the session where we were all together, had an overview. We were at the middle school, and then, like Lori said, we went to two elementary schools. I think there are 7 or 8 schools across the state participating. And Lori, I don't know about you, but I was surprised that we were the only ones who went. And as someone who likes to ask questions, I wasn't upset about that. It just meant that we had more one-on-one time with teachers and school leaders, and then district leaders were present as well. So I appreciated that. Of course, it was wonderful popping into classrooms, but it was also neat that they built into our day observing PLCs and observing one-on-one conversations between, say, a teacher and then the multi-classroom leader. The one that I'm thinking of in particular was like a just a thought partnership where the multi-classroom leader was supporting the classroom teacher. So I walked away very impressed. Now, of course, Mount Mahogany is a school of about 225 students. Carlsbad is a school district, multiple sites. So it'll be interesting just to see how the implementation differs at Mount Mahogany. But that the trip was very worthwhile. And I walked away impressed by the leadership and the teachers and even the students as well. I mean, students, when they know that stranger adults are in the building, they tend to be on better behavior. But across all of the sites, it was a very impressive day. So I'm just looking forward to seeing this work move forward at Mountain Mahogany. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I will say that the adults we get to talk with there were filled with conviction that this had made a real difference for their schools and their district. I'll also say, just for the non-educators in the group, a PLC, that is a professional learning community, which is just a meeting of a small group of teachers or school employees who are working on the same subject or the same grade level or something like that.
The other thing that I wanted to mention was that I did ask at the outset, like, how do they know this is working? And I was impressed by their answer because they talked about state testing results. And that's, students' opportunity to show their understanding of the standards. And that's the number that we ultimately want to go up. And in the past, not associated with Mountain Mahogany at all, but when I've asked questions in different environments about, how do you know this is working? I don't always hear about, oh, well, we want state testing to go up or state testing has gone up. So I was very pleased to hear that at the outset of the day because that, I think, led to a very engaging and successful day. And then, Lori, I just continue to encourage you to let me know how I can support the work and how the GC can support the work next year.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, our next Academic Excellence Committee meeting is tomorrow, June 16th. Item 9, Council Development Committee. 9.1, review status of board member training hours and training opportunities. Rainey shared with me that he is done. And hey, where did you get to on your training?
I believe I am done too.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That benefits you as individual GC members. And as I mentioned before, it's good for the school because we've got better trained GC members, and it also counts toward accreditation. Item 9.2, review recruitment of board members and candidates for governing council. And as always, if you have someone in mind, you can forward them to me, and I'm always willing to have a conversation with potential members. Item 10, Director Support Committee. 10.1, nothing to report. 11, Audit Committee, and 11.1, nothing to report. And we've made it to item 12, which makes me sad because this is Rainey's last meeting, but I will sadly accept a motion to adjourn.
I will do my last go.
Oh.
Say, this is Rainy. I make a motion to adjourn.
This is Hay, and I second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainy. I approve.
Oh, and this is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes, and we are adjourned at 6:18 p.m.